Hello and welcome to Lamp Bible Study. My name is James, your host and Bible reader for Lamp Bible Study. And so I hope today has been a wonderful day for you. And if not, welcome to another Lamp Bible Study. Thanks for joining. I pray and hope that we continue to seek the Lord's wisdom through His holy word together. And so today we are starting with a new book. We are going into First Chronicles. Now, the books of Chronicles are a review as well as a fill-in, a detailed fill-in of things that were may have been missed or may have not been talked about during the books of Kings. And so Chronicles is going to be a complete review of all the information that we've went through already in the previous Bible studies. So welcome, welcome to the books of Chronicles, and I hope and pray that that we are guided continually through the Holy Word together. And so let's get started with today's lesson. Today it's been a good day. It is well. I am well. It is well. And so let's get started with today's lesson in First Chronicles. And I'm currently reading from an NIV Collegiate Bible, and I will be going through the different versions of the Bible as well. So let's get started. First Chronicles. To Noah's sons, or historical records from Adam to Abraham to Noah's sons. Adam, Seth, Enosh, Kenan, Mahalalel, Jared, Enoch, Methuselah, Lamech, Noah. The sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The Japhethites. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tiras. The sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, Riphath, and Togarmah. The sons of Javan, Elisha, Tarshish, the Kittim, and Rodenim. So, because how the Old Testament was and how it was back then, they didn't have, my DNA. In fact, something that I was thinking about when I had previously read through Chronicles myself is how not too long ago people had family trees, and they still may have them. They may have a book that they keep with the family tree, and they write down names of relatives that they know of in the family. And so back then, these were sayings. These were passed down by word, by sometimes writing them down in scripts, and scrolls and off of papyrus, what have you, just to maintain records of families and genealogies. And so they didn't have the whole, find out what your DNA says about you like we do today. Another thing is there's going to be a lot of names. The first portion of Chronicles, especially a lot of what we're going to go over today, is going to be genealogy, names, and tribes and such. So if you do know the correct pronunciation of these names and such, say that with us as we follow along. If you know how to type them out, please do so in the comments, and I thank you. Let's continue to read. The Hamites, the sons of Ham, Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. The sons of Cush, Seba, Havilah, Sapta, Ramah, and Septeka. The sons of Ramah, Sheba, and Dedan. Cush was the father of Nimrod, who grew to be a mighty warrior on earth. Mizraim was the father of the Ludites, Anamites, Lahabites, Naphtohites, Pathruzites, Casluhites, from whom the Philistines came, and Caphtorites. Canaan was the father of Sidon, his firstborn, and of the Hittites, Jebusites, Amorites, Girgashites, Hivites, Archites, Sinites, Arvadites, Zemarites, and Hamathites. The Semites, the sons of Shem, Elam, Asher, Arphaxad, Lud, and Aram. The sons of Aram: Uz, Hul, Gether, and Meshech. Arphaxad was the father of Shelah, and Shelah the father of Eber. 2 sons were born to Eber. One was named Peleg, because in his time the earth was divided. His brother was named Joktan. Joktan was the father of Almodad, Sheleph, Hazarmaveth, Jerah, Hadaram, Uzal, Diklah, Obo, Abimiel, Sheba, Ophir, Havilah, and Jobab. All these were sons of Joktan. Shem, Arphaxad, Shelah, Eber, Peleg, Reu, Serug, Nahor, Terah, and Abram. That is Abraham. So to remember, a lot of these names came up throughout in Genesis all the way back. So this is a complete, literally a genealogy from the very beginning, from Genesis, with Adam and his sons Seth and Enosh and Kenan, Mahalalel and Jared, Enoch, Methuselah, Lamech, and Noah. Now, I'm not sure, but I'm not sure if this is the Enoch that is the prophet in the Bible. It may be. I'm trying to remember during that time. Please, if you do know, state in the comments. But one of the Enochs was also a prophet, and I believe was one of the first ones that did not die, was carried away to heaven by the Lord. So I believe, I'm trying to think if I believe, because I know Elijah was also carried to heaven by the Lord. And so, but it also mentions Enoch in back then as well as a prophet. And it doesn't really go in depth, but his name is mentioned in several different places. Again, with all of these names, including the genealogies, bringing past to present, like I was mentioning before, we keep records. Now we keep them online. We don't, mostly online. Some people still have the books and the family trees and such, and with pictures and with different writings and such. Have you ever went back and looked at the information that has been collected by your family? Have you, what kind of thoughts and feelings go through your mind when you look at that information? I'm sure with back then, it was just astounding to see just how many people, how many lives, and even how long they lived. All of that. And remember, in Genesis especially, the lifespan of the people was very lengthy. So they were living for hundreds of years compared to what it is currently, and what it ended up being even after Genesis into Exodus and Leviticus and such. So again, what kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind when we read over this? How does it make you feel, and what does it make you think? Let's continue to read. The family of Abraham. The sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Ishmael, descendants of Hagar. These were the descendants: Nebaioth, the firstborn of Ishmael, Kedar, Adbeel, Mibsam, Mishma, Duma, Massa, Hadad, Timah, Jetur, Nephish, and Kedemah. These were the sons of Ishmael. So just a quick step back. Remember, Abraham had 2 sons. He had Isaac and Ishmael. Remember, Abraham, I believe, was more mature in age before he had his children. And so let's continue to read. And anytime I'm off or wrong, please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Descendants of Keturah. The sons born to Keturah, Abraham's concubine, Zimran, Jokshan, Median, Ishbak, and Shua. The sons of Jokshan, Sheba, and Dedan. The sons of Midian, Epa, Epher, Hanak, Abida, and Alda. All these were the descendants of Keturah. And so, just a quick pause. I'm going to check something because a couple of names are standing out to me. And of those, just want to make sure, because you got to go all the way back. You got to go all the way back to Genesis to check on these. And so I believe okay, I'll have to take a look at some other time. But Abraham's concubine, a lot of these, I can't remember right now. I'll have to go and take a look. Let's continue to read. Descendants of Sarah. Abraham was the father of Isaac, the sons of Isaac, Esau and Israel. And remember, Israel is Esau and Jacob. So Jacob became Israel. Esau's sons. The sons of Esau, Eliphaz, Reuel, Jeush, Jalem, and Korah. The sons of Eliphaz, Teman, Omar, Zepho, Getem, and Kenaz, by Timnah Amalek. The sons of Reuel, Nahath, Zerah, Shammah, and Mizah. So we just went through the children of Esau. So remember, Esau was the brother of Jacob, who became Israel. And Esau, remember, he sold his birthright to Jacob when he came back in from hunting and he was famished. So he sold his birthright because he was so hungry. He needed some sustenance. And so at the time, he just didn't care. But deep down inside, he actually cared. He just was taking it for granted. Think about that, past or present. Do we take things for granted in our lives? Do we take whatever conveniences we have, the roof over our head, the bed we sleep in, the car we drive, the closeness of the community, the different things that we need at a click away, at a phone call away, and such, the air we breathe, even the light that is given to us. There's so much here, and there's so much that we can also just not really necessarily be grateful for, and just take for granted instead of giving thanks back to the Lord. And that's one thing that comes through my mind when I read about this. And because it's all a reminder of all the different things that we've read so far, and from all the way back in Genesis. So reading over these names and getting these types of reminders of who these people were and what they did. Remember, Father Abraham was the father of the start of what is Israel, basically, right? And so, or what became Israel, and is the father of Israel, and then, or Jacob, right? And then Jacob becomes Israel by name because the Lord gives him that name. Do you remember how he gives Jacob the name Israel? And had to do with the wrestling match, right? And so he also was told by the Lord that his descendants would continue the line of being blessed. And that reigns true through all the way to David and all the way through the Holy Son, Jesus, our Savior. And so reading over all of this, what kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind when we read over this? How does it make you feel, and what does it make you think? Let's continue to read. the people of Seir in Edom. The sons of Seir, Lotan, Shobal, Zibeon, Anna, Dishon, Ezer, and Dishan. The sons of Lotan, Hari and Hamim. Timnah was Lotan's sister. The sons of Shobal, Alvan, Menahath, Ebal, Shapho, and Anam. The sons of Zibeon, Ai and Anna. The son of Anna, Dishon. The sons of Dishon, Hemdan, Ishban, Ithran, and Kiran. The sons of Ezer, Bilhan, Zavan, and Achan. The sons of Dishan, Uz and Aaron, or Aran. The rulers of Edom. These were the kings who reigned in Edom before any Israelite king reigned. Bela, son of Beor, whose city was named Dinhabah. When Bela died, Jobab, son of Zerah from Balzrah, succeeded him as king. When Jobab died, Husham from the land of the Temanites succeeded him as king. When Husham died, Hadad, son of Bedad, who defeated Midian in the country of Moab, succeeded him as king. His city was named Avith. When Hadad died, Semiah from Masrekah succeeded him as king. When Samlah died, Shaul from Rehoboth on the river succeeded him as king. When Shaul died, Baal-Hanan, son of Akbor, succeeded him as king. When Baal-Hanan died, Hadad succeeded him as king. His city was named Pau, and his wife's name was Mehetabel, daughter of Matred, the daughter of Me-Zahab. Hadad also died. The chiefs of Edom were Timnah, Alva, Jetheth, Oholabama, Elah, Pinon, Kenaz, Timan, Mibzar, Magdiel, and Aram. These were the chiefs of Edom. And so I believe like at an early state, the other people of the land, so the people who split off from, Jacob and Esau, so under is Esau's descendants, and then as well as Lot's descendants and such. There was other people that went throughout the land, and they ended up having kings and such before Israel did. Because Israel didn't have a kingship at the time. They just had leaders such as the prophets and seers. And so then eventually the people wanted to be, like the other nations around them, having some type of king. So we're getting to know that those other families that were involved in the genealogies from Adam too, also were on the earth, and they also had kingdoms. They had created kings. Part of it because they didn't want to worship the Lord. They didn't want to worship the Lord. They didn't want to follow the Lord, and therefore they created a power structure. And so think about that in past and present, how even now we create power structures within all kinds of different things, within work, within school, within life. What we do is we create these types of power structures in order to not have to deal with some of parts of life, right? And have somebody else be responsible. And think about that. Does the Lord have structure? Does the Lord have that place of power in our lives? Is he input into our structure? Because we see throughout history, man, over and over again, we always seek some type of authority structure in our lives. And is the Lord, that's the question, is the Lord part of our authority structure in our lives, in each and every one of our lives? And that's a question for you. That's a question for me as well. I believe I always try the best I can to listen and pray to the Lord, and make sure that He's involved with my day to day, with my tasks, with especially things that are difficult, especially things that are even easy that I deem that easy, but they may not be. They may end up being something completely difficult that I really did need to lean into the Lord and for assistance, for help, and for guidance, because He is the Good Shepherd. So thinking about that, especially when it comes to power structures in our lives, what kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind when we read over this? How does it make you feel, and what does it make you think? Let's continue to read. The rulers of Edom are actually, I just read that. Israel's sons. These were the sons of Israel: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Dan, Joseph, Benjamin, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. Remember, the 12 tribes come from this. This is the 12 tribes of Israel is from this. 12 tribes of Israel. Who's Jacob, right? Let's continue to read. Judah, the two Hezron's sons, the sons of Judah, Onan, and Shelah. These three were born to him by a Canaanite woman, the daughter of Shua. Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the Lord's sight, so the Lord put him to death. Tamar, Judah's daughter-in-law, bore him Perez and Zerah. Judah had 5 sons in all. Just a quick pause. So, Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the Lord's sight. It doesn't give us a lot, but what we can take from it is an ultimate total rejection of the Lord. Not only that, but almost like a commitment to doing things that were evil, completely evil, whatever it may be, whatever acts of sin they may be, and in a complete rejection of the Lord. And so think about that, because the Lord loves us so much that He himself stops those things in life. He even knows that there's a time limit for these things, for when bad things do happen. I mean, even as we can see, as the saying goes, or as we see in here, even the demons, even the devil they have to say, "Hey, I'm going to do this," but the Lord gives them a time limit because he knows what kind of destruction, what kind of mess it is, and that also goes to us when we're not doing correctly. There's a time limit, because it just shows you just how destructive we can be to our own lives and to other lives. And throughout history, that is shown true time and time again. And it's a good thing that we have these time limits because it would be just so much worse for these things. And what we do have, though, with these time limits is that hope and reliance on the Lord, and thanking the Lord for His holy protection, for His holiness and His mercies, because His mercies endureth forever. And so just reading over that little small portion, that's things that I was thinking about, how there's time limits on things. And we'll see more, especially when it comes to the New Testament, including in Revelations. What kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind when we read over this? How does it make you feel, and what does it make you think? Let's continue to read. And the sons of Perez, Hezron and Hamul, the sons of Zerah, Zimri, Ethan, Heman, Kalkal, and Darda, 5 in all. the son of Carmi, Akhar, who brought trouble on Israel by violating the ban on taking devoted things. So remember that? Remember when we read over how Israel had defeated, had went to war and defeated this, and the Lord said, okay, the first battle, I believe it's this story, the first battle is, everything should be dedicated to the Lord. Instead, this person took some of the things and hid it. And so something started happening to Israel. I believe it was a plague, correct me if I'm wrong, or something started happening where, and so they found out by taking lots, I believe it's lots, and it fell on the human Thurman or something. It was either lots, I believe it was lots, but they found out who it was, and it was this person, Akhar, who brought trouble on Israel by violating the ban on taking devoted things. So he took those things and tried to hit them, and the Lord knows, the Lord already knows. The Lord knows what we do. You can't hide it. You can't hide it. I mean, you can definitely humble yourself and ask for forgiveness and guidance and help from the Lord. Let's continue to read. The son of Ethan, Azariah, the sons born to Hezron were Jerahmeel, Ram, and Caleb. I believe Caleb, I'm not quite sure if this is the Caleb that goes into, that makes it with Joshua to the promised land. I'm not quite sure. Can't remember. If you do know the answer, put that in the comments. But yeah, so, he was also one, if it is, then he was also one of the 12 that was selected with Joshua, who went by a different name, but was given the name Joshua, was one of the original that went to scout the Canaanite land, to bring back a report. And they brought back a report, and Caleb and Joshua brought back a good report saying that the land is fantastic. It's filled with new wine and all this good stuff, and flowing with milk and honey, and with the Lord with us, we can take over this land. And the other 10 were like, no, these people are tall and powerful, and they have military might and all this other stuff. So that generation, they listened to the other 10 and not Joshua and Caleb, and so they ended up staying in the wilderness and not getting to go to the promised land. And that can also happen. Think about that in past to present in our lives, when really we need to bring God into our decisions and our thoughts and feelings and such at all times, because it could be that one time where you listen to the wrong information, you take the wrong action, you listen to the wrong information, you seek the wrong advice, or seek it from the incorrect place, and which is, denying the Lord or however it may be. And you could end up with the consequence of wandering around in the wilderness, not being a part of your blessing. And so, here on earth. And so think about those things. Think about how important it is to have that time with the Lord, and how to bring him into your life, into my life, and to make sure that we're listening and we're letting the Holy Spirit guide us, because we don't want to be wandering around in the wilderness. What kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind when we read over this? How does it make you feel, and what does it make you think? Let's continue to read. From Ram, son of Hezron. Ram was the father of Aminadab, and Aminadab the father of Nahshon, the leader of the people of Judah. Nahshon was the father of Salmon, Salmon the father of Boaz, Boaz the father of Obed. Remember, Obed, and Obed the father of Jesse. So Boaz, we read the book of Ruth, right? Yes. So Boaz, that's that Boaz, right? I told you this Chronicles is like a review. It's like this. And so that's why I try to think in my mind, like, okay, this name, this name, this name. Okay, this here. So the ones that really stick out and that I can't remember, Boaz is one of them. He is one of them that he was more mature in age as well. But he still went ahead and married Ruth because Ruth needed to be, she was a widow, and she followed her mother-in-law back to her land and wanted to be a part of the community, wanted to be a part of Israel. And she had an opportunity, the mother-in-law, Naomi, right? Naomi, I think it is. Correct me if I'm wrong. She was like, "You can go back." Both her daughters-in-law were very sweet to her, very kind. Mourned with her when her sons had passed, and she let them go. And one of them did return to their own land, but Ruth stayed. Ruth was intrigued. Her heart was with the Lord. She really wanted to know more about the Lord God, and she got it in a big way, right? With Boaz. Boaz was very well off, but however, he was more mature, and so, but he still was able to produce. And as we can see, father of Obed, and Obed, the father of Jesse. So, bringing past to present, there's always hope, and you never know what to expect in the future. Relying on God and having faith on, and allowing Jesus to speak to us and through the Holy Spirit. Think about that, especially when we pray. What kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind when we read over this? How does it make you feel, and what does it make you think? Let's continue to read. Jesse was the father of Eliab, his firstborn. The second son was Abinadab, the third Shemiah, the fourth Nathaniel, the fifth Radai, the sixth Otham, and the seventh David. Their sisters were Zerah and Abigail. Zerah's three sons were Abishai, Joab, Ashiel. Abigail was the mother of Amasa, whose father was Jether the Ishmaelite. Now, as we can see, David, remember, David was a shepherd, and he had siblings, right? He had a lot of siblings, and he was not the original king of Israel. The original king of Israel was Solomon, remember? So this is bringing into the lines from Judah, and showing us that where the line of Judah is going to come from, right? As well, because in the line of all of these people, including David, is Jesus. I know. So there's a lot of information here. But David, remember, he was just a sheep person that watched sheep, tended to sheep. And so now we know where this line's come from and the significance. It's a reminder. It all makes sense. And that's why, also another reason why people have family trees and keep track of family, because it brings more history. It makes it more real to us too. Because the further we get away from history, the further we feel alienated from it, right? And so that's where that reliance on faith comes in, and seeing things and hearing things and writing things down. And this whole book called the Bible is a book of love. And it is something that we can have faith in because it proves itself every single day. It is the living word. I truly believe it. It's the living word. A pastor, somebody said something similar, expressing it. It's like water. It's refreshing. It's new and refreshes us every time we want to drink some more. And it's so refreshing. And I agree. I definitely agree. It's the living word, and you can read it now and it'll say something to you, and you can read it again. And it'll say something completely completely different, but along the lines of holiness and along the lines of truth and wisdom. And so, reading over this portion, what kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind? How does it make you feel, and what does it make you think? Let's continue to read. And Caleb, son of Hezron. Caleb, son of Hezron, had children by his wife Azubah and by Jeroth. These were her sons, Jeshur, Shobab, and Ardon. When Azubah died, Caleb married Ephrath, who bore him Hur. Hur was the father of Uri, and Uri the father of Bezalel. Later Hezron lay with the daughter of Machir, the father of Gilead. He had married her when he was 60 years old, and she bore him Zegeb. Zegeb was the father of Jair, who controlled 23 towns in Gilead. But Geshur and Aram captured Havoth Jair, as well as Kenneth with its surrounding settlements, 60 towns. All these were descendants of Machir, the father of Gilead. After Hezron died in Caleb Ephrathah, Abijah, the wife of Hezron, bore him Ashur, the father of Tekoa. These chapters are pretty lengthy, so I'm not quite sure how far we're going to get today. There's always a lot here, so I may have to break Chronicles up a little bit more than usual because of the lengthiness. And there's, again, so much to review going forward. Let's continue to read. After Jerahmeel, son of Hezron. Okay, the sons of Jerahmeel, the firstborn of Hezron. Ram, his firstborn, Bunah, Aran, Alzam, and Ahijah. Jerahmeel had another wife, whose name was Atera. She was the mother of Onam. The sons of Ram, the firstborn of Jerahmeel, Maz, Jamin, and Ekher. The sons of Onam, Shammai and Jada. The sons of Shammai, Nadab and Abishur. Abishur's wife was named Abihail, who bore him Ahban and Molid. The sons of Nadab, Seled and Epaim. Seled died without children. The son of Epaim, Ishi, who was the father of Shishan. Shishan was the father of Eli. The sons of Jada, Shammai's brother, Jether and Jonathan. Jether died without children. The sons of Jonathan, Peleth and Zaza. These were the descendants of Jerahmeel. Shishan had no sons, only daughters. He had an Egyptian servant named Jarha. Shishan gave his daughter in marriage to his servant Jarha, and she bore him Attai. Attai was the father of Nathan, Nathan the father of Zabad, Zabad the father of Ephlal, Ephlal the father of Obed, Obed the father of Jehu, Jehu the father of Azariah, Azariah the father of Helez, Helez the father of Elisa, Eleasa the father of Sismai, Sismai the father of Shalom, Shalom the father of Jechemiah, and Jechemiah the father of Elishama. So even back then, not all the time did they have children, or not all the time did they have all males or all females. Not all the time did each one of them had children, but there was still someone in the family, in the line, that had children. But bringing past to present, it's completely random. Sometimes in families, some people, they end up not having children. It's not, to me, there's a lot of overthought when it comes to families, such as even having, when it comes to different cultures, having psychological requirements, as in you are to have a family and have children, period. And that is great, because children are a blessing. Yes, it's something that is also talked about in the Bible, but it also is talked about in the Bible. Even Jesus hit upon this, is that sometimes some people they are, they don't get into a relationship or marriage. They don't have children. And in here, some of these people did not have children. And yes, they were still blessed in their life. And so when it comes to thinking about those things, be forewarned before going in those types of discussions, especially without bringing the word with it, especially without bringing God into it and letting the Holy Spirit guide in those types of discussions. Because a lot of people, because this is one of those subjects, this is a strong, close to a taboo subject when it comes to, I would say it's along the lines of that, of when it comes to people getting forced into marriages, when it comes into people desperately trying to have children, or even not trying to have children, vice versa. There's a lot to it. And it all is something that each of us have. Each of us have a story, and each of us have a purpose in life. And we may go to the Lord. Each one of us have that right to go to the Lord and to discuss that with Him about having a family, having children, and such. And if you end up having a family, that is fantastic, and you end up having children. We having children and such. Fantastic. That is a blessing. Children are a blessing from the Lord. But at the same time, be careful and not to judge others who do not, because at the same time, not all the time is it part of every single person's story. And we're not here to judge others and persecute others. We're here to love each other. And that person could be showing a really excellent representation of this book, of what love is. And that was their story. They may not end up having a child or blessed with a child, but they did their fulfillment in life by showing what love is and by spreading the word, the holy gospel, and believing in Jesus. So think about those things, especially when it comes to dealing with families, dealing with each other culturally, across the board, across life. Think about those things in your day-to-day. And how you talk to people, how we discuss things with people, how we come to people, our tact. Think about all of that when you are, especially having these types of discussions. If things, again, like I always say, if things become heated and such, bring the Lord right back into it. Have a prayer. Take that moment, because even the prophets, even the apostles had arguments of thought, arguments of things that they felt, and how they thought things were from either the word or through customs and such. So think about those things. What kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind when we read over this? How does it make you feel, and what does it make you think? Let's continue to read. The clans of Caleb. The sons of Caleb, the brother of Jerahmeel, Misha, his firstborn, who was the father of Ziph, and his son Marsha, who was the father of Hebron. The sons of Hebron, Korah, Tapua, Rechem, and Shema. Shema was the father of Raham, and Raham the father of Joachim. Rechem was the father of Shimei. The son of Shimei was Maon, and Maon was the father of Bethzur. Caleb's concubine Ipah was the mother of Haran, Moza, and Gazez. Haran was the father of Gazez. The sons of Jadai, Rechem, Jotham, Gishan, Pelet, Ipah, and Shaph. Caleb's concubine Maachah was the mother of Shabir and Tirna. She also gave birth to Shaph, the father of Madamana, and to Sheva, the father of Machbeneth and Gibeah. Caleb's daughter was Asa. These were the descendants of Caleb. The sons of Hur, the firstborn of Ephrathah. Shobal, the father of Kiriath Jearim. Salma, the father of Bethlehem, and Haraph, the father of Bethgadar. The descendants of Shobal, the father of Girith Jearim, were Harar, half the Menahathites, and the clans of Kirith Jearim, the Ithrites, Puthites, Shemathites, and Mishrates. From these descendants, the Zorathites and Eshtaolites. The descendants of Salma, Bethlehem, the Netophathites, Atroth, Beth Joab, half the Menathites, the Zorites, and the clans of scribes who lived at Jabez, the Tirathites, Shemathites, and Succothites. These are the Kenites who came from Hamath, the father of the house of Rechab. It's a lot more names. Thanks for bearing with me. It's going to continue. What kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind when we read over this? How does it make you feel and what does it make you think? Okay, quick pause here. Okay. All right. Had to check on something again. All right. So let's continue to read. The sons of David. These were the sons of David born to him in Hebron. The firstborn was Amnon, the son of Ahinoam of Jezreel. The second, Daniel, the son of Abigail of Carmel. The third, Absalom, the son of Maacah, daughter of Talmai, king of Geshur. The fourth, Anajai, the son of Haggith. The fifth, Shaphatah, the son of Abital. And the sixth, Ithraim, by his wife Eglah. These 6 were born to David in Hebron, where he reigned 7 years and 6 months. Now, going back, just reading over this, Amnon. Remember, Amnon did some serious bad stuff. He with his cousin or with his sister, or with sister, and be like a stepsister or a half sister. And then I believe it was Amnon. Yeah, because it was firstborn, and then he also wanted to be king and take over instead of David, and so Amnon ended up passing away. Then you have Absalom. Absalom won the favor of people of Israel because he was scheming. He wanted power. He wanted to be king as well before even his father died, to the point where he was going to kill his father. That did not happen. Absalom ended up perishing. However, David mourned Absalom's death tremendously, and to the point where it was his military leader was saying, "Hey, your military and your people are taking it as in we just, held strong to the kingdom and made sure that you weren't threatened by your son, and yet you're mourning for him so much that you're causing everybody to be upset and thinking that they did something wrong in protecting the anointed," right? And so David had to kind of brush his mourningness self off and get back to his duty. And so these sons, we can see, there's a lot here. Even with Adonijah, there's a lot here, lots of stuff that comes up even when reading genealogies. So over reading this and from previous Bible studies, what kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind? How does it make you feel and what does it make you think? Let's continue to read. David reigned in Jerusalem 33 years, and these were the children born to him there: Shemua, Shobab, Nathan, and Solomon. These 4 were by Bathsheba, daughter of Amiel. There were also Ibhar, Elushua, Eliphalet, Noga, Nepheg, Japhia, Elishama, Eliada, and Eliphalet, 9 in all. All these were the sons of David, besides his sons, by his concubines, and Tamar was their sister. So remember, Solomon is the one that comes after David. Was the one selected to rule after David. And remember, David had went through lengths to get his wife Bathsheba. He went through lengths of murder. So, He was very, very good in following the Lord, but however, he had a downfall. Not one downfall was that murder, but he went back to the Lord and asked for forgiveness. And that's something that we can look at, past and present. Even our things that we think is little, all sin is the same to the Lord. He can't be around it. He can't be with it. That's why he sent his son to defeat sin for us. All we have to do is believe, and sin is defeated. The end. No sin. We don't. We may sin, but that forgiveness is already there for us. That's. We have faith. As long as we have faith in his son, and that's the end. That's the end of it. And so, but we don't want to sin. We don't want to continue to do sinning things in our lives. So think about those things too. What kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind when we read over this? How does it make you feel? What does it make you think? Let's continue to read. The kings of Judah. Solomon's son was Rehoboam, Abijah his son, Asa his son, Jehoshaphat his son, Joram his son, Uzziah his son, Joash his son, Amaziah his son, Azariah his son, Jotham his son, Ahaz his son, Hezekiah his son, Manasseh his son, Ammon his son, Josiah his son, the sons of Josiah, Johanan the firstborn, Joachim the second son, Zedekiah the third, Shallum the fourth. The successors of Joachim, Joachim his son, and Zedekiah. Remember, these were sons or rulers in Judah, and with Israel and Judah. So, and yeah, just stuff we just recently read in Kings, right? Think about that, and how fast the genealogy goes with it. Let's continue to read. The successors of Jehoiakim. Oh, we just read that. The royal line after the exile, the descendants of Joachim the captive, Shealtiel his son, Malchiram, Pedaiah, Shenazar, Jechemiah, Hoshama, and Nadabiah. The sons of Pedaiah, Zerubbabel, Shimi, the sons of Zerubbabel, Meshullam, and Hananiah. Shelomoth was their sister. There were also 5 others: Heshubah, Ohel, Berechiah, Hasadah, and Josheb Hesed. The descendants of Hananiah, Pelatiah, and Jeshiah, and the sons of Rephiah of Arnan, of Obadiah, and Shechaniah. The descendants of Shechaniah. Is this the Obadiah? From the book of Obadiah? Trying to remember. I'm not sure. I think it is. I want to say it is. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. If it's the prophet Obadiah. I think it is, but I'm not sure. Not quite sure. But take note if it is. If it is. More research that I need to do. I believe it. So, okay, let's continue to read. The descendants of Shechaniah, Shemaiah and his sons, Hattush, Igal, Bera, Neri, and Shaphat, 6 in all. The sons of Neri, Elionai, Hezekiah, and Azrikam, 3 in all. The sons of Elionai, Hadabai, Elishib, Pelai, Akakub, Johanan, Deliah, and Annie, 7 in all. Ooh, okay. Obadiah, take note. I think it is Obadiah. So, and here's a book. It's a prophet. Take note. I believe it is. I think it is. If I'm wrong, again, correct me in those in the comments. Because he has a book, and we'll go over that book closer to the end of the Old Testament. Because it jumps back and forth. It's not necessarily in actual order. So if you're thinking you read the Bible like especially Old Testament and actual like order, it's not necessarily fully in order. Okay. So anyways, with that thought, what kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind? How does it make you feel, and what does it make you think? Let's continue to read. Other clans of Judah. I think we're going to go over today. I don't know how far over. It's okay though, because it's Bible study. It's fine. The descendants of Judah: Perez, Hezron, Carmi, and this like a big, huge, like, like restudying of everything that we just read for the last several books, right? The descendants of Judah: Perez, Hezron, Carmi, Hur, and Shobal. Rhea, son of Shobal, was the father of Jahath, and Jahath the father of Ahumai and Lahad. These were the clans of the Zorathites. These were the sons of Etam: Jezreel, Ishma, and Idbash. Their sister was named Hazelelapani. Penuel was the father of Gedor, and Ezra the father of Hushah. These were the descendants of Hur, the firstborn of Ephrathah, and father of Bethlehem. Ashur, the father of Tekoa, had two wives, Helah and Nara. Nara bore him Ahazam, Hefer, Timni, and Hehashtari. These were the descendants of Nara. The sons of Helah: Zereth, Zohar, Ithnan, and Koz, who was the father of Enab and Hazababa, and of the clans of Arhel, son of Haram. Jabez was more honorable. Okay, so this is the prayer of Jabez. Take note. This is one of those that it's so small, but it's so significant. Okay, this like huge, right? So write it down and take note and such, right? Okay, because this is like sermons. Just this little teeny portion is like huge. It's huge. It's the prayer of Jabez, right? Okay, so that's what it's typically called. Okay, so read this portion again. Here we go. Jabez was more honorable than his brothers. His mother had named him Jabez, saying, "I give birth to him in pain." Jabez cried out to the God of Israel, "Oh, that you would bless me and enlarge my territory. Let your hand be with me and keep me from harm, so that I will be free from pain." And God granted his request. So his mother named him Jabez because she gave birth to him in pain. So it's basically he's a pain. Not it's not how we deem it like, oh, that child's a pain. It's like not metaphorically. It was actually stating she was in pain while she was having Jabez. And Jabez didn't want to have a life without the Lord, leading him without the Lord, being his shepherd without the Lord, guiding him without the Lord, protecting him. He knew exactly who the Lord God was. And so he cried out to the Lord in a prayer and cried out to the Lord. And this is utilized, and it brings up so many thoughts and feelings with this. It even brings up a taboo subject. Right? One of those is how the preaching of riches in the gospel. So people utilize this, pastors and preachers and stuff, and evangelists and all kinds of people utilize this like, you can too, you can get rich. and a lot of them go straight to this prayer, the prayer of Jabez. The crying out of Jabez's soul, saying, life is painful. I want to say around this time, it was not I don't think it was a good time in Judah. I want to say that he was seeing what was all around, and he was seeing what I get from it. What I get from it is that, and he was saying, Lord, protect me, Lord, guide me, Lord, provide. It was almost like the same as asking for wisdom. He was being humble. He was crying out with his heart, his mind, his soul to the Lord. He was saying, oh, that you would bless me. Bless me. Think about that. Bless me. Bless me. It's an umbrella. A rain. It's a raining of blessing. It's an umbrella. It's a covering of blessing. Okay. Just like how the Lord blessed Israel when, Balaam and Balak was trying to curse Israel. It was like, no, bless them. And he's crying out to the Lord, bless me. Enlarge my territory. Enlarge my territory. Let your hand be with me and keep me from harm so that I will be free from pain. Enlarge my territory. That can go so many ways. That can also go in spreading the word, spreading the holy gospel. Enlarge my territory. Let me be an example for you. Let me show love to others. Let me live how you want us to live. Let it be a reflection of love about what we read, about this wisdom. And how people, like I've said time and time again, when people see your life and they see you, because people will see you. They will see you. And they'll say, okay, this person, I feel like they know the answer. I feel like they know something that I don't know. I feel like they have the answer. They know something maybe even about me that I don't know. Those questions could come up too, right? Even those type of questions. They know. I want to know what that is, and we have the opportunity to tell them. It's Jesus. It's the love. It's the love of Jesus. It's real love because we have a living God, that we have faith. We can share that with them. We can share that love and that faith with them. And it's just something that we can do. People also think that it means enlarging, as in providing them more stuff here on earth, where moth and rust, like it's more of a humbling prayer to me than it is of a prayer of saying, it's not wrong to ask for things. It's not wrong to pray for things, to pray for rewards here, to pray for things that successes and such. It's not wrong. It's just, what's the reason for it? Is the reason so that you can be grateful and honored and feel honor from the Lord? Is it to spread joy, help spread joy? Or is it more of a humanistic or selfish type of reason where it's about our pride, where it's about our prejudices, where it's about ourselves, gluttony? Think of that. And so this is Jabez really crying out to the Lord. That's what I'm saying. This may be long. This is so important. This chapter, or this chapter 4, verses 9 and 10, and it's just so telling of what was happening. Just this little short portion, right? So impactful. There's a lot here, and I always want, and I give that warning, always bring the Lord in it. Always really ask and seek the Lord what the meaning is, what's behind this. Is it really about earthly possessions, or is it about something else? Is it about something more? Think about those things. What kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind when we read over this? How does it make you feel, and what does it make you think? Prayer of Jabez. It's one of those. It brings in a lot. Let's continue to read. Caleb, Shehua's brother, was the father of Meher, who was the father of Eshton. Eshton was the father of Beth Rapha, Paseah, and Tehinnah, the father of Nahash. These were the men of Rechab, the sons of Kenaz, Othniel and Serah, the sons of Othniel, Hithath and Menoethai. Menoethai was the father of Oprah. Sarai was the father of Job, the father of Gershom. It was called this because its people were craftsmen. The sons of Caleb, son of Jephunneh, Eru, Elah, Name, the son of Elah, Kenaz, the sons of Jehaleel, Ziph, Zippah, Tiria, and Asriel, the sons of Israel. Jether married Epar and Jelon. One of Mered's wives gave birth to Miriam, Shemai, and Ishbah, the father of Ishtimoah. His Judean wife gave birth to Jared, the father of Gedor, Heber, the father of Soko, and Joktheel, the father of Zonoah. These were the children of Pharaoh's daughter Bethai, whom Mered had married. The sons of Hodiah's wife, the sister of Nahum, the father of Kelai, the Geramite, and Ishtimoah, the Makathite. The sons of Shimon, Amnon, Renah, Ben-Hanan, and Telon. The descendants of Ishi, Zohath and Ben-Zohath. The sons of Shelah, son of Judah, the father of Lekha, Leda, the father of Mershahah, and the clans of the linen workers at Beth Ashbea, Joachim, the men of Kozeba, and Joash and Zeraph, who ruled in Moab, and Jashubi Lahim. These records are from ancient times. Really? These names, man. They were the potters who lived at Natam in Gedera. They stayed there and worked for the king. Ooh, okay, lots of names here, lots of things that we just went over, relations even from Pharaoh of Egypt. What kind of thoughts of feelings come to your mind? How does it make you feel? What does it make you think? Let's continue to read. Simeon. The descendants of Simeon, Nemuel, Jeman, Jerub, Zerah, and Shaul. Shalom was Shaul's son, Mibsam his son, and Mishma his son. The descendants of Mishma, Hamuel his son, Zakur his son, and Shimei his son. Shimei had 16 sons and 6 daughters, but his brother did not have many children, so their entire clan did not become as numerous as the people of Judah. They lived in Beersheba, Moladah, Hazar-Shul, Bilhah, Azam, Toled, Bethul, Hormah, Ziklag, Beth Markaboth, Hazar, Sisim, Beth Bera, and Sheriam. These were their towns until the reign of David. Their surrounding villages were Etam, Ain, Ramon, Token, and Eshen, 5 towns, and all the villages around these towns as far as Balath. These were their settlements, and they kept a genealogical record. Almost had me on that. Meshabab, Jamlech, Jashah, son of Amziah, Joel, Jehu, son of Joshabiah, the son of Sarai, the son of Asiel, also Elionai, Chakbah, Jeshoiah, Asaiah, Adil, Jesamiel, Benai, and Zizah, son of Shiphi, the son of Elon, the son of Jediah, the son of Shimri, the son of Shemaiah. The men listed by name were leaders of their clans. Their families increased greatly. They went to the outskirts of Gedor, to the east of the valley, in search of pasture for their flocks. They found rich, good pasture, and the land was spacious, peaceful, and quiet. Some Hamites had lived there formerly. The men whose names were listed came in the days of Hezekiah, king of Judah. They attacked the Hamites in their dwellings and also the Meunites who were there and completely destroyed them, as is evident to this day. Then they settled in their place because there was pasture for their flocks. And 500 of these Simeonites, led by Pelotai, Neri, Rephi, and Uziel, the sons of Ishi, invaded the hill country of Seir. They killed the remaining Amalekites who had escaped, and they have lived there to this day. So remember back in the previous Bible studies, several Bible studies ago, where they wanted these groups of people wanted to expand the land. They had not taken all of land of Canaan, or all of the promised land yet. So they went and finally did it and took over the hill country, and that's why they expanded their land. Okay. So again, remember, it's all review. It's huge book of review. What kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind when we read over this? How does it make you feel, and what does it make you think? Again, a lot of the book of Chronicles is going to be a complete review. There's going to be a lot of names, but there is going to be plot and additional stories and additional points, details that we missed out on in the previous books. A quick pause. Okay, so let's continue to read. Reuben. The sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, he was the firstborn, but when he defiled his father's marriage bed, his rights as firstborn were given to his sons, to the sons of Joseph, son of Israel. So he cannot be listed in the genealogical record in accordance with his birthright. And though Judah was the strongest of his brothers, and a ruler came from him, the rights of the firstborn belonged to Joseph. The sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, Hanok, Palu, Hezron, Carmi, the descendants of Joel, Shemaiah his son, Gog his son, Shemai his son, Micah his son, Reah his son, Baal his son, and Beri his son, whom Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria, took into exile. Beri was a leader of the Reubenites. Their relatives by clans listed according to their genealogical records: Jeiel the chief, Zechariah, and Bela son of Azaz, the son of Shema, the son of Joel. They settled in the area from Arar to Nebo and Baal-Meon. To the east, they occupy the land up to the edge of the desert that extends to the Euphrates River, because their livestock had increased in Gilead. During Saul's reign, they waged war against the Hagrites, who were defeated at their hands. They occupied the dwellings of the Hagrites throughout the entire region east of Gilead. So you got some additional information as to what and why things happened, and what happened with the birthright of Reuben, and how it went to Joseph's sons, and how even though Judah was the strongest of his brothers, and a ruler came from, we know which ruler that is, and going to be, the rights of the firstborn belonged to Joseph. So that was some more backstory. And what kind of, reading over this, what kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind? How does it make you feel, and what does it make you think? For me, it's important it makes family important, if you do have family, brothers and sisters, this is a short time on earth, and definitely, pray, if you don't if you don't have good relationships with them, pray about that, keep God in it continually, pray for them, as well. And don't get discouraged. People sometimes will say, you can just pray for me all you want, and do so, and do so in the spirit, do so truthfully, because they can feel whatever feelings that they may have, but that doesn't affect our own walk with the Lord. That doesn't affect our own prayer to the Lord, and the Lord can listen and take that stony heart, take that hard-headedness, and make it into a heart of flesh, and make it, and bring someone around, however that may happen. Think about those things in our life. Again, what kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind? How does it make you feel, and what does it make you think? Let's continue to read. Gad. The Gadites lived next to them in Bashan, as far as Salakah. Joel was the chief, Shepham the second, then Janai and Shaphat in Bashan. Their relatives by families were Michael, Meshullam, Sheba, Jari, Jachan, Zai, and Eber, 7 in all. These were the sons of Abihail, son of Huri, the son of Jorah, the sons of Gilead, the son of Michael, the son of Jeshashai, the son of Jahdo, the son of Buz. Ahi, son of Abdiel, the son of Gune, was head of their family. The Gadites lived in Gilead, in Bashan and its outlying villages, and all the pasture lands of Sharon, as far as they extended. All these were entered in the genealogical records during the reigns of Jotham, king of Judah, and Jeroboam, king of Israel. So just to let us know what time this happened. The Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh had 44,760 men ready for military service, able-bodied men who could handle shield and sword, who could use a bow, and who were trained for battle. They waged war against the Hagrites, Jetur, Nephish, and Nodab. They were helped in fighting them, and God handed the Hagrites and all their allies over to them because they cried out to him during the battle. He answered their prayers because they trusted in him. They seized the livestock of the Hagrites, 50,000 camels, 250,000 sheep, and 2,000 donkeys. They also took 100,000 people captive, and many others fell slain, because the battle was God's, and they occupied the land until the exile. So right here, because they had faith, because they prayed, they humbled themselves, they prayed to the Lord, they had faith that the Lord would come through, and he did. He listened to them, and that's something past to present we can look at, we can see in our lives. We can also do that. We can also pray and have faith for our own success, for our own during our own trials, that we can see that hope. We can see that the Lord can give us the goodness, the good results, because the battle is the Lord's. And so think about those things. What kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind? How does it make you feel, and what does it make you think? Let's continue to read. The half-tribe of Manasseh. The people of the half-tribe of Manasseh were numerous. They settled in the land from Bashan to Baal Harmon, that is, to Snair, Mount Harmon. These were the heads of their families: Ephar, Ishi, Eliel, Azriel, Jeremiah, Hodaviah, and Jadiel. They were brave warriors, famous men, and heads of their families, but they were unfaithful to the God of their fathers and prostituted themselves to the gods of the peoples of the land, whom God had destroyed before them. So the God of Israel stirred up the spirit of Pul, king of Assyria, that is Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria, who took the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh into exile. He took them to Helah, Heber, Hera, and the river of Gozan, where they are to this day. So that just shows us that even in the past, when they didn't rely on the Lord allowed for them to be swept from the promised land. And it gives us a lot of understanding about how things happen, how things could be in life. And so it gives us an example, it gives us thoughts and feelings to think about in our lives, how when we leave the Lord out of it, when we leave the Lord out of our lives, how things could get messy, how things could go downhill. And the Lord doesn't want that for us. He loves us, and he's waiting for us to have a relationship, to speak with him and allow for him to speak back to us, right? So reading over everything that we've read today, what kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind? How does it make you feel, and what does it make you think? Let's do a quick review. So we started on a new book, and that is in First Chronicles, and we started in chapter 1. And of course, again, these are really long chapters. So with the historical records from from Adam to Abraham. So we went through all of those children, and all the way to Noah and the Hamites, or the Japhethites, the Hamites, the Seminites, Semites, and then even descendants of Hagar and descendants of Keturah, Esau's sons. There's a lot of names that we went over. Israel's sons, Judah, all through Caleb, and his sons, the sons of David even. So it's a huge span of time and references to even the past Bible studies, as well as a little bit of details as to why things happen. Other clans of Judah, such and Simeon and Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh. So this will continue on, but reading over today's Lamp Bible study, what kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind when we went over this information? How does it make you feel and what does it make you think? Thank you very much for joining us in another Lamp Bible study. I pray and hope that we continue to seek the Lord's wisdom together through his holy word. Please continue to pray for me. I will always continue to pray for you. Lamp Bible study comes every Tuesday and Thursday. There are highlights throughout the week as well as flashlights on Friday. And we will continue through the book of First Chronicles and then on to Second Chronicles. Again, if you have any thoughts or questions or feelings, be sure to type those in the comments. There's also an Instagram page where you can join in the fun, and see what's happening, see what's coming and what's up to date. You can also, if you have any questions, concerns, or if you want to do more with Lamp Bible Study, you can always, there's an email through the YouTube page with the email link. So you can always send information there or requests there. So with that, thank you once again for another Lamp Bible Study and hope to see you again soon. So wherever you are, have a blessed morning, a blessed day, a blessed afternoon, a blessed evening, a blessed night. God bless.